Hello gamers, SoftKitty99 here with something completely new. I got an invite to the Battle for Azeroth Alpha. Yay! I have never been in the Alpha for World of Warcraft before, so I'm really excited. So if you come into the realm selection area, you've got two servers available. One is called Anduin and one is called Sylvanas. Any guesses as to where they expect the Alliance and the Horde to go? I think we'll start with an Alliance character, so let's try Anduin. So, which races are we allowed to make? Yes, we have all the normal selections and we have the 4 races that have been unlocked on live. So let's use one of the new ones. Let's be a Void Elf, because that's the only one I haven't managed to unlock on live yet, so let's try that one. Now, what do we want her to look like? Though we're not going to keep her, of course, because as soon as the testing is gone, everything on here will be wiped out. Oh yes, look, she's got the glowy ended hair on there. It's a while since I looked at these models, so let's have a quick reminder of what we've got. Though I probably shouldn't pay that much attention to what she looks like here. As I said, she's going to get wiped out, isn't she? So let's have the twiddly hair with the tendrils. Yeah. What colour shall we be? Right, so we need a name. What shall we do? Hey, let's try something. What shall we try? No, we can't use names that we've already got on a live server, can we? We should do something silly. Shall we try that? Do you think people have taken all the Egyptian goddesses? No, they haven't taken all the Egyptian goddesses. So we have our first test character. Let's see what happens when we enter the world. And then we get to see what spells we have and haven't got, but of course, bear in mind it's still a test realm, so anything that you see here could change very quickly. So what we're playing on here is going to be subject to many changes and iterations before you get to put your hands on it, unless you're on the Alpha 2. As I said, I'm quite excited about getting the Alpha, and I'm really not quite sure what to do first. I'm like a kid in a candy shop, or oh, hello. Oh, we got the achievement for an allied void race. So here we've got Anduin here. The battle for Lordaeron. Champions of the Alliance. At last the time has come for us to claim what is rightfully ours. Our final push to retake Lordaeron Keep shall commence at dawn. The Horde and their war chief must answer for her crimes. Complete the battle for Lordaeron. Ooh, so that then straight away they're giving you the quest for the battle that was in that cinematic that they showed us. Interesting. Well, before we do that, I'd actually like to see what spells we've got. Oh, well, they have given us full action bars, so we don't have to physically put everything on there. But as you can see, the action bars are all different already. That is very different to what I've got on live. So let's have a look what we've got inside here. So they've given me 3 potential mounts. And we've only got one pet in the pet journal. And everything, of course, is greyed out. Let's have a look at the appearances tab. That looks very similar to live. Yep, that looks pretty similar. Mounts, we don't have all the action bars that we normally have on live. Let's see. Ooh, that's interface. Let's have a look at the action bar setup. Can we add more? Well, we can add the bars down the side here, but the extra bar here is much shorter than it used to be because they've offset the character, and all the clickables have been disconnected from the main action bar in the centre, look, and pushed over here. I'm not quite sure why they did that. I don't understand why they think that's a good idea. It doesn't really make any difference per se, because you've got the same number of, at least I think you've got the same number of slots here. You're a few missing up here though, weren't you? Because this bar here included all of these, but this section here went further across, so you've actually lost a few slots, haven't you? I suppose it depends how you set up your action bars. A lot of people don't use the initial interface. I tend to leave the game as is and don't add anything onto it or use add-ons or anything, so I use what's in game, but I know a lot of people don't, but I'm not sure I understand why they've changed this. It seems like an unnecessary change to me personally, but I presume they had a reason for it. Let's see now, what else have we got? Do we... Controls, auto loot, we need to turn that on. Right, we're going to have to set up our talents, aren't we? So let's see what we've got. We've been automatically put in as a Fire Mage. That's interesting. Is that what you normally get given when you're a level 10? Is that why they've done that? Anyway, let's have a look what talents you've got then. That's definitely different to live, isn't it? So, your top row at level 15, you've got Fire Starter, which is a passive. Your Fireball and Pyroblast spells always deal a critical strike when the target is above 90% health. Well, they're not going to be above 90% health for very long, so that's an odd one, I think. Pyromaniac, passive. Casting Pyroblast or Flame Strike while Hot Streak is active has an 8% chance to instantly reactivate Hot Streak. Searing Touch, passive. Scorch deals 200% increased damage and is a guaranteed critical strike when the target is below 30% health. Well, my initial thought is that Pyromaniac's going to be the best there. Level 30, Blazing Soul passive. Casting Blink ignites a blazing barrier around you. Shimmer replaces Blink. Teleports you 200 yards forward unless something is in the way, unaffected by this global cooldown and castable while casting. Blast Wave, instant, causes an explosion around yourself, dealing 508 fire damage to all enemies within 8 yards, knocking them back and reducing movement speed by 70% for 4 seconds. So they're all utility spells. So you will choose those depending on your style of play and the sorts of fights you're getting into. Level 45, Incanter's Flow, passive. Magical energy flows through you while in combat, building up to 20% increased damage and then diminishing down to 4% increased damage, cycling every 4 seconds. Mirror Image creates 3 copies of you nearby for 40 seconds, which cast spells and attack your enemies. And Rune of Power places a Rune of Power on the ground for 10 seconds, which increases your spell damage by 40% while you stand within 8 yards. So again, that's depending on what style of play you fancy. I'm going to go for the simple one to start with. 60. Flame On. Passive. Reduces the cooldown of Fire Blast by 2 seconds and increases the maximum number of charges by 1. Alex Strauss's Fury. Passive. Dragon Breath always critically strikes and contributes to Hot Streak. Phoenix Flame. Souls of Phoenix. That deals 844 fire damage to the target and splashes 225 fire damage to other nearby enemies. Always deals a critical strike. Really don't know which one's the best there. Really don't know what's the best. Let's try that. We can always change them later. 75. Frenetic Speed. Passive. Casting Scorcher increases your movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds. Ice Ward. Frost Nova now has 2 charges. Ring of Frost. Summons a Ring of Frost for 10 seconds at the target location. Enemies entering the ring are incapacitated for 10 seconds. $90. Flame Patch. Flame Strike leaves behind a patch of flames which burn enemies within it for 552 fire damage over 8 seconds. Unstable Magic. Fireball has a 25% chance to explode on impact, dealing 40% additional damage to the target and all other enemies within 8 yards. Living Bomb. The target becomes a living bomb, taking 276 fire damage over 3.4 seconds, and an additional 159 fire damage to the target and all other enemies within 10 yards. Other enemies hit by this explosion also become a living bomb, but this effect cannot spread further. 100. Kindling. Your Fireball, Pyroblast, Fire Blast and Phoenix Flames critical strikes reduce the remaining cooldown on combustion by 1 second. Pyroclasm? Consuming Hot Streak has a 15% chance to make your next non-instant Pyroblast cast within 15 seconds deal 300 additional damage. Or Meteor. Calls down Meteor which lands at the target location after 3 seconds, dealing fire damage split evenly between all targets. I'm going to try those for now. I have no idea if that's the right ones. We will see. And we let's see what the adventure guide is telling us to do. Bonus event dungeons, Suramar, random battlegrounds. So it's still the normal suggestions, not specifically for the alpha. So we will leave that. Right, now we've also got the test feedback. Let's see what they say if you... oh no. How do I get that to go away? How do I get that to go away? Go away. Okay, that's weird. Is that going to just sit in the middle of the screen the whole time we're here? Ah, look at that. Bug feedback examples. This enemy could not be hit. I fell through the ground. Oh, save me, I fell through the ground. Oh dear. My spell isn't doing what it says it should. These are missing graphics here. Okay. Okay, I get what you want, but... okay. No, that's just going to sit there, I think, the whole time we're here. Okay, let's get, say, mount on our... let's get a mount on our... or 2 on our action bars, and let's see.
Greetings. Go with honor.
Let's have a quick look around, shall we? So we have been popped in the harbour in Stormwind. I suspect that this boat is going to be the place that will send us off.
You need something?
To one of the achievement places.
Hey there.
They're just vendors.
See you around.
So I was wrong. I don't need to go on the boat at all. I need to go. I think I need to talk to this captain to go and do that achievement. So let's have a quick look what spells we've got. A lot of this looks very familiar. I since I haven't been playing the Fire Mage, I'm not 100% sure what might be missing. But I'm very excited to be here anyway, and I will do the Battle for Lordaeron, or at least try to do the Battle for Lordaeron scenario, introduction quest, whatever they're going to call it, in the next video. I hope you've enjoyed having this quick look at the beginning of entering the alpha, and to see which spells are currently in the talent tree for the Fire Mage. And I will see you in the next episode from Soft Kitty 99. Goodbye!